567. Registration is free. Virtual seats are free. Visit 2022arena.com.
Seniors age 65 and older, please don't neglect your insurance healthcare needs. Adult children, family members.
Welcome back to the Don Miller Show. Want to get in on the conversation? Call us now, 407-894-1680. That's 407-894-1680.
Can we just talk?
Oh, man. Thank you so much, everybody. Right now, listen, I am in the process of engaging with the young lady who sent us the email. If you missed the first half of the show, then I can tell you she's going to go back and forth with us. She's nervous about putting her voice because she said her boyfriend as well listens to the show for many years, or the gentleman that she's engaged to has listened to the show for many years. She knows he's out of town, but just in case, she don't want to put her voice out there because many other people in the church know her voice. So let's go back to the conversation. I think we got some callers. We're going to get right back to the phone lines momentarily. 407-894-1680 is the number to dial. So a young lady emails the show recently and said that she is currently engaged. She's been dating him. Now we have a definite on the time. She's been dating him 8 months, right? And they both go to the same church. She's 32. She'll be 33 in December. And 8 months later, they have not had sex, is what she just said. And I think they're ready to. They're living for God. They're good Christian young people who have found their way back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, when you're out there in the streets and you find your way back, you try to do the most difficult things to do to get right with God, like not have sex.
Right.
Okay? And then you know how that go, right?
Yeah.
So she said they haven't had sex, but he recently.
They call it being a born-again virgin.
Yeah. Recently, he wanted to know.
Wait, a found-again virgin? Is that what you call it?
No, a born-again virgin, Holly.
Oh, okay. Hey, I was like, I got some new stuff to me right there. Okay.
That's when you don't have sex until you get married.
So again, but he asked her the other day how many men she'd been with. She was nervous. She emailed us. She said she didn't want to tell them because the number's extreme.
Oh, boy.
So now she's going to join us by messaging, but she's not going to put her voice on the phone. Okay. So feel free to ask the questions. 407-894-1680. We got phone call, Holly.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
No. Okay. So Holly, go ahead. You got her. She's listening. What's going on?
Well, my question is this. Would she have given him an answer before she got back into the church? Would she have been okay with giving him the answer before then? Or is it because now she's in the church, she feels like she's got to be some kind of way to where she can't be truthful with him and honest and tell him what's really going on? That's my question to her is would she have given him that answer, him an answer before she got back into the church?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. 407-894-1680.
And see, and Holly said she may have, this is a good thing. They got a good thing going now. She don't want to blow it, and now she's back in the church. Everything's good. She's going to Bible study and stuff, you know what I'm saying? And here he goes with a question that could blow wreck.
But as a
He's trying to blow wreck with this question.
But as a man, right, is the answer to that question, if it's not the answer, again, men say they want to hear it, but do they really want to hear, right? So
and what is our number? What is our number where we're okay with it? That's what I want to know. Is it based on how many years how old you are?
Yeah.
Or is it based on how many were in 1 year? Or is it
okay?
What is our magic number where we're okay with it?
But Holly, you just hit a home run, right? Because here's the question, Glenn, and we've done this show before. Here's a quick question, right? If a woman sleeps with 6 guys in 1 year, is that inappropriate? What's the number?
Wow.
Let's head over to the phone lines. Hey, you on the Don Miller Show? What's your name?
Yeah, this is Harold, man.
Hey, Harold, how you doing? Oh,
hey, bro.
What up, babe?
Hey, it's good, man. I'm listening to the show, man, and I got a couple of comments, man. One of them is like, why does it matter?
Okay.
And then the second one is, why do we place our business out there for people to be judge and jury over, whereas we just allow God to do that? and then that's that. And then the third thing is that it appears to me that we always get, when we get into these meaningful relationships, we always want to come to Jesus meeting where, let me tell you everything that I did.
Right.
Well, like you said, man, we've all had that period of, you know, hoeing around, some maybe longer than others.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, you know, why put your stuff out there where everybody starts, let God be that judge.
Okay, well, that's a good point.
That's always a good answer, and I get it. You know, you want to say
it's not an answer. It's just truth, man. It's the reality of it. People do that. People get in a point where they cause themselves anxiety.
Mm-hmm. Good point.
Well, and again, there goes the insecurities of the gentleman.
Right.
He feels like he needs to know.
Like he needs to know.
It's not the
like
gentleman.
he needs
That's
to know.
for me, sir. And I don't know you. For me, sir, that's just in general.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a
that's what I'm
purpose
saying.
in general, not me looking
that.
out of a guy's eyes, but looking out of eyes of, hey, man, why put yourself through that?
No, Harold, good point. Good point. We got other calls.
Yeah.
Harold, I love you, boy. Good point. Let me tell you something. Harold saying, dude, why you even going to put yourself in this mind? Because no matter what the answer is going to be, okay, you're going to still have some questions because you're already asking questions you don't need to ask. Mm-hmm. Okay? So what happens if she said, babe, I love you. I want to be with you. You are who I want to be with. It was probably 70 guys. How do you feel? What do you say?
Oh, God.
Okay? And do you say, look, you know what? Okay? What do you say, Holly? How do you respond to that?
It's a retread. It's a retread.
Glenn, that's so funny because I was just about to use that analogy as far as tires go. Like you say, I got tires on the car, and the car can roll. But if the tire ain't got, if the tread is thin, then I feel that might be a little dangerous.
Right.
But, and we don't want to keep using these analogies like this, but the fact of the matter is that when the guy, the person that's asking the question, I shouldn't say the guy, but the
don't
person
they recondition them, Don?
Question,
yeah, they put new tread.
Do you really want the answer? Do you really want the answer? And then again, what answer is going to be okay for you to continue on with what you're doing?
Again, what's the number at 35?
Before you knew it, it was tight like a baby, and then after you knew it, it was like a window.
Again.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Let me just say this, right?
Don, am I right?
Absolutely. The fact is, this is a real concerning conversation, especially to those in the church, right? Who are coming from a level of judgmental ridiculousness.
You got the phone lines lit up.
Let's go to the phone line. Hey, you're on the Don Miller Show. Should we care?
Okay, good afternoon.
Yeah, that's another question. Honestly, Don,
Holly.
Hey. Hold on.
So then it's going to grow if you answer that question, and then it's going to grow into who. Then it's going to grow into when. Then when, and you don't want to hear my love this guy, my pastor, the other girl. You don't want it's going to blossom out of that.
He wrong.
People, if y'all want to get married, y'all squash this situation before it get going.
All right, thank you so much. He's right though. Holly, go ahead.
What's wrong with knowing all of the details?
Holly,
Don?
go ahead, man.
What's wrong with knowing everything?
Holly.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm just saying what he just said was very real. And that and the bottom line is, do you really want to know the answer? Because
no,
it can hurt your feelings. It can hurt your feelings, and then you're going to start you're going to ask other questions, and in the end, it's just your insecurities that are making you ask all these questions.
And
you
how?
don't want to go somewhere and people going, "Oh, look who he married. He married her." Oh, I can't believe. But that's how men are, and again. It's the same thing even with women. They would be the same. They're kind of the same way, you know. And I can't say that because I've never been a woman, but I know that women don't want to marry a guy that's been, you know,
he's been around. Yeah,
he's been around.
He's the pass around pack.
But again, though, right? It goes back to I came up with many years ago on the Don Miller Show.
What is that?
And I've been this dude, right? So y'all know I like to put my business in the street. I've been this dude, right?
Go ahead.
When you get a case of the dubs, right?
Yeah.
The W's, right?
Yeah.
Because once you ask that question, You're going to say who, when, where, what, why.
He was
and
right.
if the number's wrong, you're going to say wow. Okay? It's an absolute case of the do it,
You
right?
got more phone calls.
You're going to want to know.
Yeah, you're
hey,
right.
you're on the Don Miller
You're
Show.
absolutely correct.
You're on the Don. Turn your radio down, please. Can you turn your radio down? Thank you. Hey, you're on the Don Miller Show.
What's going on, man?
Hey,
It's Delvin, man.
Hey, how you doing, D? What's going on,
Delvin.
man? Yeah, how you doing?
Hey, man, I'm sitting here in my car smoking a cigar. And I'm listening to all this records. This is crazy. Yo, Don, now you know damn well we want to know something. But
See?
you said they've been together 8 months. It's better for him to go ahead and ask now and find out the truth now than later. My thing is, if you started something and you plan on marrying this lady and settling down, get the answer up front. And like the first 90 days, then you know where we going in this conversation and what we going to do together. Because we all know we ain't trying to be in the room like we sitting at the bar and she unbagged 10 of the dudes in the room.
Absolutely. No, Delvin, think about this, right? I think
Delvin,
that
right.
is more important to a man than anything else, right? Because that allows us the opportunity to know where not to take you. You know what I mean? Even if you say, you know what, I love you so much, and I know that's your past. I'm okay with your past, but thank you for telling me we can't go over there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be in the room.
And it's a legitimate concern for her because you said they're in a small place.
Yeah, you don't want to be in the room when 5 or 6 dudes done smash.
It's awkward.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Delvin.
It's awkward when you're in love.
Exactly.
Yeah, right. Thank you, Delvin.
It's awkward when you're in love,
It's
Don.
terrible when you're in love, right?
You got another call.
Tell me what not to take you. Hey, you're on the Don Miller Show.
Hi, this is Tony.
Hey, Tony, how you doing? Go ahead.
I'm doing well. I have 2 questions. The first question, rather, how much is extreme? If the young lady can answer that question. Like, what number are we talking about? And 2, that's her truth. You know, it's pretty much a double-edged sword.
Okay.
If she tells him the truth, he's going to be taken back like, oh, I don't know. But if she lies about it, then he's going to feel like, okay, she's not being truthful with him.
Okay. So Tony, let me ask you a question. Have you ever been asked that question?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
But again, you know, my story is not her story.
No, I know we're not. I'm saying so. But how did you respond?
How?
Yeah.
Oh, well, definitely you have to answer that question to someone who you feel is deserving of the answer. You don't just give that to anybody.
What's the word you
that's
just
good.
used?
She said deserving.
Okay, we'll use
She
that
said
word.
deserving
We'll
of
put that
the
word
answer.
right over here on the end. That's the word.
I like her.
Okay, deserving. So go ahead.
Deserving of the answer, and you have to know each other. You know, 8 months not being funny, but that's, you know, I get it. However, do you really know this person if they're deserving to get the truth? But again, that's her truth. If she had 50 partners, that's her truth. Whatever her experience were at that time to make her do so, or, you know, that's her truth. She has to own up to it.
50 sounds like the number then, Don.
Okay,
She just
wait.
said
50 partners at 32 years old. Okay.
That sounds like the number.
32 years old. Divide that by 3. Okay, go ahead. Carry the 1.
I remember some of my classmates in high school. They were in the triple digits. I was like, stuff needs to fall off.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
In
Well,
high
just
school,
like Jaquetta just said, it should be like credit. After 7 years, it fall off. That's real talk right there.
That was great.
Well, thank you so much. We appreciate you. Keep listening to the show. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Tony.
Tell your friends about it. Glenn, let me just say this, Glenn. Right? She just brought something to mind, Holly, right?
Uh-huh.
This is a problem, right? Because I need to know. But I needed to know when I was 30 and 40. I don't need to know now. You follow me? So at 30 and 40, maybe you need to know, right? When you get to mid-40s, closer to 50, you don't even need to know. Because what's the difference, right?
Right.
So I just think, because I dated a girl years ago. I didn't date her. I took her out and fed her. Like, I was a food dude. I'd take her out and fed her. And she ended up with a basketball player who's my best friend. Holly, remember that?
Yes,
Huh?
I do.
I was feeding the wine in the diner, and he didn't take her nowhere but to his bed. Okay? And I showed up one day, and her car was at his house. And I thought I had something special. I think you need to know if you got nothing
that
special,
hurts.
right?
Yeah.
Because you don't want to fall. Look, the worst thing as a man can happen is a man or a woman fall in love with public transportation. You hear what I'm saying?
Are you serious right now?
If you fall in love with public transportation,
That's horrible.
that's the truth, right? Come on, Holly. Am I making it? I know.
It's very real, like you said. Don, it's weird.
We used to call it Desiree Donald.
Right.
What we thought about when we were younger, or what we felt when we were younger.
Right.
And like now, you got to think about it. I got married 3 years ago.
Mhm.
Okay, in my late 50s or whatever, and I married a younger lady. And the bottom line on it was that I knew she cared and loved me. Period.
Mhm.
The sex part could be great or is great or whatever, but what I knew was that if in the end she cared about me. So that's really where we need to make our point is where
Right.
how are they going to care about you if something goes wrong? Because if it's all about the sex part, you're going to be in trouble. You're gonna really be in trouble later on in the relationship because they're gonna start looking at you going, hey man, you're not bringing the wood, and I can't really do this no more. And if they're not loving it like that, then you're gonna be in trouble because when you land up there with a diaper on, she ain't gonna change.
Really, Holly?
Hey, it's real talk.
No, that's right.
She's not gonna do for you. She's not gonna. He's gotta care about if she cares about him, if she loves him. That goes back to the unconditional.
Not about her
love.
partners.
Well, again, we
Not
just
about her
we
former
just
partners.
refeed. Man, she said it's okay to do this. She just told me how many, y'all.
How many?
Oh, Jesus.
How many? She's 32, right?
32. She'll be 32, 33 in December.
Let's just say this: is it double her age?
Yeah.
It's double her age.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
well,
how long?
Now you can look at that in a couple different ways. She's experienced.
Okay.
You know, she has.
I'm trying not to laugh.
By
This
now
is serious
she
right
figure
now.
out what it is she likes
This
or
is
wants.
serious.
I'm looking at what she just said. Holly, the numbers double her age plus. Okay. And
Okay. Now my preference would be no, thank you, but that's just me.
Right. 407
that's-
894 1680. I thank you so much, young lady, for sharing this. I think that
Keep
that-
your secret, girl.
yeah,
Keep your secret.
I wouldn't tell him. I don't think I'd tell him.
So
I wouldn't tell him. I would not tell him. I would be willing to put the relationship on the line.
She's 32 though, and it's more than half it. So
plus
60,
60. Yeah.
64.
Or bottom line, just make up a number. Ain't nobody gonna know but you and God, so leave it alone. Just make up a number. When you get to the pearly gates, you can explain it then.
She's trying to be honest. She's trying.
Let's go to the phone
she's
lines.
trying to change her life.
Hey, you on the Don Miller show? Wow, I don't know how to see that.
Hey, how y'all doing up in there?
Hey, how you doing, sir?
Hey, Dex.
All right. Hey, Don.
Mm-hmm.
My thing is, in that conversation there, I don't think we can't make too much ground because it's gonna depend on the sensitivity of the person, man, and what they can bear.
What word did he just use? Sensitivity. We're gonna put this one right over here with deserving.
With deserving.
Yeah. Okay. Sensitivity.
Keep going, Dex.
But listen, what I want to do is, I want to know is how can we take an instance like that, a conversation like that, and apply it to the political conversation?
We won't do that today. We won't do that today because the only way I can apply this to a political conversation is go back into detail about how black people have become the jump-offs to the Democratic Party, okay? So we're not doing that today, right, Holly? But the point is, thanks, Dex, for that. The point is, right, the number counts the number count. And I want to encourage her right now. I'm not going to do what Holly just said, tell her a straight out lie. I just think you need to figure out what's important to you in this relationship. I don't think you need to tell him because I don't think I wouldn't tell. No, man. I don't want to talk about my past with you. It's okay in a relationship to tell your partner, I don't feel comfortable discussing my past to that extent. Yes, I've been with several people before you, but to give you a number, I think personally is inappropriate and placing me in a position that I'm uncomfortable in this relationship. I hope you're listening, young lady. You can easily look him in his eyes and just tell him, look, yes, I have been with other men, okay? But I don't think I'm comfortable, and I don't like feeling like this in this relationship. And you're, quite frankly, making me question how we're moving forward by asking me to present to you a number. Go ahead.
Well, I'm going to say this again, Don. If those questions lead to other questions, and are you ready for are you ready to answer more questions? And again, are you ready for the answer to these other questions? Because believe me, if she give that guy a number, then he's going to, well, how far did you go?
Right.
Did you guys just do this, or did you just
no question about it. And
then the next question on that is going to be, well, how many times?
Right.
You know, and then it just goes on, and it can turn to an ugly situation, and that's the last thing you want to do is start creating some sort of a visual in a man's mind about you being with another man.
But think about this,
men,
right?
And we got big egos.
Think about
we got
this,
a huge
right?
ego.
So I asked this question of a young lady, right? And she gives me a number, right?
Okay.
And her number is 60 plus.
Okay.
My next question is going to be, at any point were you compensated for this, right? No, for real. Now think about, this is what I'm saying, 60 plus and at any point, because I want to know now. I want to create an environment.
Young people have multiple relationships all the time, Don Miller.
I think at that number, it's okay to say at any point.
At least 3 or 4 a year.
At any point, did you have a website? You know what I mean? Like, damn.
I don't believe you.
At any point. At any point, right?
So now you're going from a time of being a hoe to being a whore.
Right. Yeah, it's a graduation process. Yeah, that's what it is.
What are y'all doing?
That's
come back.
Difference.
So is it inappropriate?
No, come back. Yes.
Is it inappropriate?
Come back.
When you tell me you're past 60, for me to follow up. See, some guys, the follow-up question going to be different. The Don Miller follow-up question.
You swallow very hard.
The Don Miller.
What?
The Don Miller swallow very hard. Don't go there. The Don Miller question.
Oh my God.
The Don Miller, take a deep breath, swallow hard.
Yeah.
And the question will be, at any point were you compensated for such behavior? Because then it becomes behavior. You know what I mean? At any point. Because then I want to know who I'm really with.
Just yesterday you said you loved her.
But I want to know who I'm really
you
with.
cherished her. Just yesterday.
Just yesterday, right. This is why, young lady.
Why does it matter?
I think you might want to take Holly's advice and just not tell her.
If she made love to you right now, you'd be good with it.
Or take my advice and just kind of, man, don't do that to yourself.
She give you good love and you would never know she was with anybody else.
I totally believe that in my heart. In my spirit, I believe it. But I also believe, and I grew up believing this from the time I was 9 years old, and I heard Mr. Wanzo in the third chair at the barbershop on a Saturday morning say, boy, you can't turn no trick into a treat. You follow me? Boy, you can do a lot of things. Can't turn no trick into a treat.
And this is the thing too, Don. He's asking this question, and he's not sampled the goods.
Wow.
And one thing I can tell you as a man, and I'm sure you guys can agree with me on this. Sometimes some stuff is so good to you that you don't care about the rest of it.
That's right. Say that again, Holly.
It can make you say, "Ooh, yeah, well, I'm gonna be all right. We're gonna work this out. You know." And I'm not saying that they need to do that prior, but I'm just saying that you never know. This might be your connection. This might be what makes you feel real good.
Well, I want to respond to some messages that we're receiving through social media, the Facebook, The Don Miller Show, WOKB Radio on Facebook. Yolanda just said there's another thought maybe sex trafficking, which is not a choice. Maybe she could have been involved in something like that. I know she's listening. She's going to say, hopefully tell us, was it along those lines?
Right.
Kim Reynolds over in West Florida said, most men have a massive body count, so I'm confused.
Wow.
She also
that
said,
part.
this is complete
That part,
BS. Okay. Yolanda said you got more holes in church.
You don't really.
Including pastors. Okay.
Really?
407
Really, Yolanda?
407-894-1680. I just want this young lady to feel comfortable. As it sounds like she's come a long way.
So would you full disclosure?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I think you tell the truth. And how he responds, if the worst thing could happen is you text us back and we do a whole nother show on this monkey ass. Okay? You know what I mean, Ollie?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because if he leave you based on this, there's something else going on with him. Look, you know what? It is what it is. Everybody's got a pass, right?
Yeah.
And you know, I just hope it ain't what Yolanda thought she proposed it to us. I hope it's not. And a season of doing what you want to do and living ridiculous, it exists in all of our lives, okay?
Jeez.
I had a season of ridiculousness, right?
I remember mine.
Oh, we all have had a season of ridiculousness. But the point is to put that season behind you and figure out a way that you can move on. And it sounds like she's done so, but just ran up on the wrong cat, right? So I don't know if I think Holly is really on to something. I'm not going to support you lying to him. Holly got put off the deacon board just for that behavior, and he's still pushing that behavior. You still pushing that behavior, Holly.
Yes, sir.
But
it's real. I can give you the fairy tale part, but I can give you the real, bro. Sometimes you got to just do what you got to do. I mean, it's what it is. And like I said, for this young lady, depending on what it is, I want to know this. The question really should be, how many jobs have you had? You know, ask the question that can be that's really important. Say, well, you've been to your job 25 years. Okay, well, not things looking good. But if you don't have 50 jobs in 60 years, then you know, look at what's important. Look at what's really important. Wow. What's really gonna matter.
But that's important to a lot of people, Holly. Come on, man.
Yeah,
that's important. That's important to a lot of people. But you got to be subtle in the way you find information.
Yeah.
You know, I think he did it wrong.
He probably did. Now he'll come with a box of condoms next time.
Yeah, right. I don't want to break up, but you know what I mean, right?
Yeah, we're just trying to be safe.
I think there's a better way to ask. There's a time and place to ask. None of us want to find yourself in a position where you with somebody who's got significant mileage, you know, but that's the way it is. Some of the best cars I've ever had were high mileage cars. You know what I mean, Holly?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I say, they have some road experience.
Yeah.
They working like they need to work, and the bottom line of it is, does it get you to the point of where you need to go?
Come on.
Is the air conditioning working and things, and I'm happy with this right now. I'm not worried about who's been driving this. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm just happy with what I'm doing. You know what it's doing for me now. And I hate keep using the car analogies, but that's
real, man.
How the situation is that you want to make sure. Like I said, I don't really want a rental car. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't want to buy a rental car.
Right. Come on, Reverend Holly. Yeah.
People have ridden it and driven it and didn't care about it and just beat it up. And I don't want that kind of car. I'd rather get a used car that said, well, you know, it's had two owners. Mm-hmm. You know, and this is what the knowledge is. I'd rather have that. I'm just saying that. That's just my
but again, let's go back to the phone lines. Hey, you on the Don Miller Show?
Yes. I got a comment.
Yes, sir.
This brother, he's contemplating in his mind. He's sizing up the sex, set for the sex.
Okay, sizing it up.
And the reason why I say that is because he's already playing in his mind of what he's hoping the sex will be. However, he knows the game she's running. He knows the game he's running. Well, she's trying to size up, and he's trying to figure out, is this individual worth the finances, his time?
Okay. Wow. That's brilliant. Thanks so much, caller. I hear what he's saying. Maybe he's saying, okay, let me just do this little quasi investigation.
Is that what it is?
Out of the gate, right? But there are a lot of things. So he's saying, Holly keeps using the car analogy, so maybe I should go by the website. You heard of Carfax, Sex Facts, right? You just a database, right? I'm going to go buy that. Okay, an entire database. You just put your in there, and then it goes like boom, 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 right? Because let me tell you something about the car analogy. I think it's a brilliant analogy because I had an old Cutlass Sierra, right? And it was old. It was high mileage. It was beat up.
Right.
But the maintenance was so low.
Wow.
The maintenance was low. I get in it, I know it's going to start. It ain't never going to let me down. It's going to get me from A to B, right? The air going to work, the heat going to work. The seats were still soft. They was velour, okay? I'm telling you right now, sometimes as opposed to mileage, high mileage, you should be concerned about low maintenance as a man for sure, right?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
I see, and that Cutlass was low maintenance. I'm like, man, people be like, man, my car might not start. I'm like, my car gonna always start. Let's take a quick break. We come back. Holly, stay with us, man. Don't go nowhere. If you're on hold on. This will be a very quick break. I'm old. I gotta go to the bathroom. We'll be back in a moment. I'm kidding.
Oh, wow. Will you be ready then? Just to meet the ransom throne. You better get ready.
It's the Don Miller Show, where you listen, laugh, and learn.
Be very long.
Oh, you know it won't be very long till the day.
You're listening to the Don Miller Show on 1680 WOKB.
August 27th and 28th, Popcorn and Jokes returns with the Clean Edition, starring from Def Comedy Jam comedian Chocolate.
Everybody's so spiritual, you know. Make sure you praying for a spiritual man. But I'm going to go another further. You better specify what spirit. Mess around and get the spirit of Ike Turner up in your house. Spirit of RuPaul.
And Ron Hortman.
I am a happily married man. My wife is my better half. Ryan, you better do this and you better do that.
And the hilarious King of Clean, Rod Z.
You ever been in a public bathroom and you hold your feet up because you don't want nobody to see your shoes? There's a little Mexican man in there. He talking about, hey, senor. Hey, what's wrong with your stomach?
All performing live at the Fashion Square Mall Movie Theater, August 27th and 28th. Get tickets on Eventbrite or at popcornandjokes.com. That's popcornandjokes.com.
This is Red Darwin with the People's Choice. So you set to invest in a home, Mr. Tony Darby, at the link. Quality, prestige, and class. A realtor that care about what the customers think. Come on. I the home that you're wanting. Come on. If you need to buy, sell, or invest, 407-900-1707 or 863-605-5678. With Mr. Tony Darby, the People's Choice. Tony Darby Realtor. People's Choice. Tony Darby Realtor. The rules are...
Welcome back to the Don Miller Show. Want to get in on the conversation? Call us now, 407-894-1680. That's 407-894-1680.
Can we just talk?
Thanks so much for joining us. My man, Rosie Holloman, Atlanta, Georgia. When we first started this thing 20 years ago, me and Holly used to broadcast from a little shack in a cow pasture in beautiful Mims, Florida.
It was a real shack?
Yeah, it was a shack. And remember Holly?
He is not lying at all.
In a cow pasture 20 years ago, the Don Miller, Holly Holloman show, we drive all the way to Mims. And
where is Mims?
Mims is by Titusville, 95.
So it's in Brevard County?
Yeah, no, that's, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And that's 46 and 95, Mims, Florida,
okay.
Cow
I know
pasture,
what that is.
me and Holly. And our station manager was a 6'8".
Transvestite.
You can't call that, no. You can't tell him. You can't use that name. It's another name.
Talking about that man, because that man big.
No, that's a lady, man. That's a lady. What are you doing,
whatever
man?
it would qualify as, it was big. And I'm like,
that's where it started. Then we headed over to 88.1 FM where we met Glenn Allgood. And so it's a Glenn Allgood, Don Miller afternoon drive from 3 to 7, 3 to 6. And then we got fired.
That day, that was one of the funniest, most embarrassing good days I ever had.
So we got fired. But again, thank you so much for joining us. So Holly's joining us today. Glenn Allgood, of course, every morning, 6 to 10, WOKB Radio 6.
Man, I could see the Orange County Sheriff's pulling up to the door.
Remember that?
I sure do. Think I don't.
They fired us. They put me in Holly out. So I want to talk about this. One of our listeners, if you just joined us, emailed, got engaged, 8-month relationship, and the fiance wants to know how many men she'd been with. She felt uncomfortable. She didn't know if she could tell him because the number, as she wrote, was extreme. And we just want to tell her we're going to pray for you in that, and that you find the way that is most beneficial to you moving forward. But I would tell you right now, I'll just break up with this dude because ain't nothing you're going to tell him. Especially if he like you tell me the wrong number, I'm out automatically, right? And I'm going to tell you why I'm out, Holly. I want you guys to join me. You know the motto of the show is listen, laugh, and learn. We listen, we laugh, and we hopefully always learn. But I want to say something. So the number.
Why would you be out?
The number of people you have laid with, right, is important to me because of, listen to me closely, STD. Wait, not sexually transmitted diseases, but sexually transmitted demons. And people need to understand, right, that everybody you lay with is bringing something into your space, right, into your aura, and oftentimes into your physical body, right? So I think the concern would be the trauma from multiple moments engaging with sexually transmitted demons. You understand what I'm saying, Glenn? I think people's spirit, people's aura, right, can be placed upon someone else through that scenario, that circumstance, that situation. So if your number is 60, right, how many of those people had bad juju, right? How many of those people, of the spirits were just not, and you've shared you with them over and over and over again. So my concern, because we can all go get tested, but there's no current test on the market for sexually transmitted demons. There's no current test on the market for triggers that are driven by moments with people you absolutely didn't even care nothing about, right? So I think that's a conversation. So, young lady, we want to pray for you, but I think at 60 plus, right? Any woman at 60 plus that's not 40 plus, right, or 50 plus, should take a minute and maybe seek somebody that can counsel you. 60 plus is a lot.
That's a lot.
How did it happen? Okay, I would have to know how at 32 did you get with 60 dudes, right? What's that number? That's 6 guys a year if you started at 22. Right? If you started at 18, that's still almost 8 guys a year. The number 3 a year, 4 a year is a problem for me, right? Not because of sexually transmitted.
Maybe it was her environment or something, Don.
I don't know.
Huh? Did she work in a club or something? You know, maybe an exotic dancer, Holly.
Well, let me ask
you know,
this. If it was that, okay, did you think of these things when you were out there doing those things back in those days? You know, I mean, I know it's always good for us to talk about having protection and things like that. But
there's no protection from sexually transmitted demons, Holly.
Yes, yeah. Well, yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but and being realistic, it was times where we knew the demon was there, but we still did what we did.
Real talk.
That's really good.
That's real talk.
All right, Holly. Yeah. Stop it, Holly. Stop.
Mm-hmm.
Don't tell him everything.
She got issues, or she this and that. But at the time, that Hennessy or that
Lord Jesus, stop it, Holly.
No, he talking real.
Those motivators said, well, you know, it may not happen this time. You know, and that's just real life. I mean, we could sit around here and pretend all day, but the truth is that I know if I was in a situation where I was like, man, I don't even know why I'm in here. But hold on, let me finish this.
Yes, God.
You know,
Praise.
and I don't think I'm the only.
You're
one.
not, sir.
I don't think I'm the only one.
You're not, sir.
And like I said, and as a man, I know that there were women that probably looked at me and was like, I don't know why I'm in here. You know, but hey, it was what it was. We did what we did, and you know, you just got to take that one. You know, take that hit and keep it moving.
Yeah.
But again, I think at that number, right? And I'm going to encourage her.
Because, at that number, you said you were out. If you were the guy, you would be out. I want to hear why you're out.
At that number, I would be out because at that number, at 32, 60 plus, I promise you, y'all can say what the hell y'all want to say about this one. There's got to be some sexual trauma involved that she's got to be
that she's dealing with.
That's 60 plus at 32. I really think
she likes men.
Well,
she likes.
Let me just say this to you, Don.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't there just a little bit of curiosity in your mind?
No, you know the problem with me, I'm different. I'm a little different.
Holly, you don't.
Listen to me. Let me just say something, right? I'm a little different, right? And Holly, you've known me a long time.
A little OCD? Okay. You're a little OCD.
Oh, wait, no. Holly, Holly's known me for 30 years. Holly, I'm a little different. Would you agree?
Yes, you are. You're different.
I spend a little more time on thinking than I probably should. But even I, too, have found myself in a situation, right, where I was questioning myself, right? Like, there was this girl. There was this girl. And I said no for a very long time, right? And they laughed at me, and they called me names for saying no. Let's take this phone call, and I'm going to tell y'all this story. Holly going to laugh real hard. Hey, you're on the Don Miller Show.
Hey, Don.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm listening to the part about the demons being transmitted.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but when I consider, like, the demon aspect of it being transmitted, I don't think they're transmitted through the sexual part.
Mm-hmm.
But when we take on the mindset that now, because we have slept with this person, that now we are obligated, you know, to do other things for them, and that they are deserving or it's owed to them, like if they come to you for something else other than what y'all was doing, which was, you know, the sexual part.
Mm-hmm.
But when they come and do it for their bills to be paid, or I need this to be done, and we take on the mindset that we owe them that. Now this is, I think, where the demon transmission comes into a mindset that we adopt to something that we're really not obligated to.
I love the show, man.
And now we're being controlled by it. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Thank you, man. Hey, thank that. Right. Hey, Holly, I'll take a moment with that, man.
I can feel where he's coming from.
He just paid somebody's bills recently. He best paid somebody's bills out of guilt.
Yeah. That's the
Oh, you see a number, you see the number come up, you be like, I know she ain't calling.
Oh man, once again. Well, anyway, right, there was this girl, right? There was this girl I that she really, you know, everybody's like, man, you should go out and pursue her. And then I stopped pursuing her, right?
Was she a good girl?
Oh, man.
Or was she a stank girl?
I'm going to tell the story.
She a good girl?
Man.
Wasn't a pass around?
No, yeah, well,
let
me tell you what happened.
All right.
So I know how it is, right? And Holly know me. Most people know me for real. My numbers might look crazy, but they were not really crazy at all. But I wish I could have had crazy numbers. I was just a goofball, right? Goofballs don't have crazy numbers, right?
Okay.
But I have been with Johnny Jackson, okay? In my mind, okay? That's the lust factor that go back to what the gentleman said earlier in the show.
Yeah. Okay.
So I meet this girl, and I'm like, wow, I got man. So finally I give in, right? And we go back to my place, and it was amazing. No, it was amazing. Yeah, we did. We did everything we could do. We did everything, right? And I went to work the next day, and I kept thinking about it, and I was like, man, the next day, right, I sent her some flowers. and a card, and she called me. She's like, hey. I was like, hey. I said, did you get the flowers? She said, look, do not send me no flowers. I'm like, what happened? She's like, don't be sending me no flowers. And I'm like, she's like, we ain't like that. Okay? Don't send me no flowers. Ever. And click. So let me tell you think about what just happened, okay?
Yeah.
I got sucked in, right? I had a moment, right? All right? Apparently, I wasn't at the level I thought I was.
Was it roses?
I sent her some roses. She was like, don't ever send me no flowers. Dude, that was just then. The point I make is this, right?
Were you hurt?
Yeah, I was hurt. Then I went back into my situation without just being hurt, right? The point I'm making is this, right? It's very important that we understand this, right? Oh, God. We have to understand that you got to know what you're signing up for. And I think the more questions you ask early can help you get to a point where you understand it. Look, I'm gonna put some man rule out there real quick, right? And I shouldn't do this.
Go ahead.
How many times have me and Holly and Glenn and some of the other fellas be sitting around and we say the craziest women got that thing? Right, Holly? Like, man, she crazy. Man, she's a nut, right? She'll write her name on your car. And guess what? Somebody knowing all of this, somebody. There was this girl me and Holly knew. She was crazy. She went to this one dude's job and went up in there with a trench coat on and no underwear, just danced, and he got fired. Huh?
Stop.
Holly, remember? Okay, listen. So she was just crazy doing all this. Then somebody like, man, she wrote her name on her last boyfriend's car with a key. And guess somebody went out with steal. Somebody was like, I don't, huh?
Oh, my goodness, Don, don't talk about that, boy.
Remember that?
That's the truth.
The point is, so you got to understand the dynamic, right? Because some guys don't care. And I know women think we care a lot more than we care. So when you find a guy like this gentleman who is concerned enough to ask, right?
Is that it? He's concerned.
He's concerned, right? Let's use that. Can we put that word on the list?
Put that one over there.
Concern. Yeah. Okay, we got sensitivity, deserving, sample the goods, and concern. So he's concerned enough to ask, right?
Okay.
Most guys ain't concerned enough to ask. Right?
We're in the moment.
I would be careful with him. I would be careful with this guy. I would be careful with this guy because he's going to ask you a lot more questions than this.
I mean, he looks like he's planning on a future.
He's going to be asking you a lot more questions, and unless you want to go into detail, because as a man, think about this. Once a guy asks you that question, he's like 3 questions away from asking you, have you had a threesome? Right? Tell me if I'm wrong. That's the 3 questions away from that question. I promise you that's going to happen, right? That's like 3 questions away. That may be number 4 on the list, right? Huh?
So this was a setup.
It's a setup. You don't tell him your business. If you got to walk away from it, do not tell him your business, right? It's never going to stop. If you tell him your real number, no matter how much he loves you, in his mind, you're not an upstanding woman. You're moral. You got some moral challenges, right?
Moral turpitude.
Do not tell him your number. Do not tell him, even if you lose the relationship, because women, once you have created that type of environment, men too, right?
Right.
Just man up.
I'm listening.
Woman up, suck it up.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can talk too much. And
Holly said at the beginning of the show, he told his son, tell the truth, but not the whole truth.
I'm just saying.
Is it appropriate now?
That's it.
That's what you're saying. That's what you're telling her to do.
I'm just telling her not to tell this guy. I wouldn't tell him nothing. I would also encourage you to go find another guy. And I'll tell you why, right? If you tell this guy, if he's Don Miller, right, who the overthinker, right? You tell this guy your number. First of all, there are going to be some trust issues.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you, the fourth question, probably the fourth, fifth question, when it comes to these questions, because this is a whole thing. It's a
series,
right? It's a series of questions.
Right.
We call it the dubs: when, why, where, what, And of course, if you tell him the wrong answer, he's gonna say, "Wow," right?
Yeah.
All right.
That's good.
But you got to be careful about
And
telling
there's an
the truth
order. Yeah.
because there's an order to this,
Yeah,
right?
I hear
He's
you.
gonna say how many men you've been with.
Right.
Then he's probably gonna come back and hit you with another one. Then at some point he's gonna say, "Have you had a threesome?" Right.
Right.
Then he's gonna ask you about some stuff you really don't want to tell him.
Right.
And then at that moment, he's never gonna trust you.
He won't tell you,
but he's never
won't
gonna trust you. Holly?
Well,
I'm hearing you. I hear you, Don.
I'm telling you.
Even with saying that, Don, if you really in life, Don, people lie every day, all day long. People judge every day, all day long. And you get people say, "Oh, I don't judge." Yes, you judge every day. You judge when you get to the traffic light and you see somebody on the phone and they don't go through the light right away. Look at them on the phone just over there, and they may be having a major issue going on, but you can judge them immediately. But
Real talk.
when you're judging people, they always tell you, "So you got to look at yourself. Look at yourself." You know, if you out there, you want to ask her what her number is. Is it based on because you want to tell her your number and your number is high?
Right.
Or is it what you want to, what is it that makes you want to ask that question? When really you could just keep on moving and go through the relationship, and it doesn't matter how many. It really doesn't matter how many if you secure within yourself.
But
if you find with, hey, look, whoever see me with her, they might say what they want to say, but guess what? This is me, and this is what I'm doing, and I'm loving it.
You know, and I think that's the right way to go if you are living in that mindset. But I just want to say to guys, right, I just want to encourage men, right, some things you just really don't want to know. You know what I mean? Some things I think you just leave alone.
Agreed.
You know what I mean?
Agreed.
And I think there are roads you go down, right, they're roads, but they have no signs. When you bring it up, then it becomes a street, right?
Yeah.
And then the traffic has that. You got to be careful, right?
We're a little more mature, and so we've arrived at this place.
But
I
we
hear
were
you.
not at this at 30.
No.
You know, I'll never forget. At 30, I was just out there. I was confused, man. I went over a girl's house one time. I told Holly this. We was young. We'd probably been late 20s, and it was a dude's underwear at the foot of the bed. Okay. Did I go home?
No.
I actually didn't, right? And she pulled the sheet back, and there was a dude underwear at the foot of the bed. I just kicked him on back under the bed. You know, the point I make is this, Holly, right?
Hey.
It is what it is.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And sometimes you don't want to know. Sometimes you want to know. I'm in the moment. Enjoy her, man. Enjoy her. But I think she may be making a mistake with this guy because you look, there's some guys that want to ask you that question. There's some really decent men in church as well that won't ask you that question, right? Because I think that question is going to open up a conversation or dialogue between y'all that is probably going to be detrimental to the relationship. You know,
if nothing else, it's going to be detrimental to your ego when she tell you.
Right.
Because I mean, I had a friend that actually confronted his girl about her having a relationship with another guy, about her cheating on him.
Right.
And he was animate about, I know you did, and blah 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 blah. And then she eventually said, look, I didn't have sex with him. And he's like, oh, you was with him so and so. She said, I didn't have sex because it didn't fit.
So he was devastated, right? He was devastated.
Pow!
Wanted to commit suicide.
Oh my God! No,
wow,
Holly.
Man, that's
you pushed it. You pushed it to a point to where you got the answer that you got an answer you wanted to hear or you were looking for, but you didn't want that answer to be that. You'd have rather her said yes, I did.
Right. Right,
but
absolutely.
You set yourself up for that failure.
Holly, before we get out here, I want you and Glenn to give us your final thoughts to the young lady. First of all, thank you, young lady, for reaching out to the show. We hope you got something out of this nonsense. Glenn, your thoughts.
Man, my thoughts are this, man. You have to take each day as it comes. And, relationships are meant to be matured over the years. You know what I'm saying? Right. And you get to this. There's going to be a time where they might be able to laugh about this, in the future. So, give the guy a chance.
Okay.
Give the guy a chance.
Holly, your thoughts?
Well, honestly, You got to do what's best for you. We can give you all the advice in the world, but you got to do what you feel is best. And another thing I tell my son is go with your gut. Whatever your gut tells you, do that. Mm-hmm. That is what some people call it the Holy Spirit. Some people call it your third eye, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. But go with what your gut says. And that'd be your answer.
Thank you so much, Holly. Thank you, everybody, for joining us here at the Don Miller Show, Fridays, 12 p.m. Eastern Time at WOKB Radio, 100.7 FM, of course, streaming live at WOKB Radio 1680 on Facebook, The Don Miller Show on Facebook. Holly Holloman, I love you, brother, man. I really love you, baby. All right, Glenn, all good. Love you so much, man.
Yes, sir.
Listen, this is very important that I close with this, and I want to thank this young lady for for being comfortable reaching out to us. You can also reach out to us if you have a show topic at don@thedonmillershow.com or glenn@wokbradio.com. We present show topics on Glenn's show every morning from 6 to 10, and, of course, the Don Miller Show. Listen, I just want to say this, right? I have never been a fan, right, of public transportation. And I don't think I will be comfortable with public transportation at this point in my life. I just think that protect yourself, okay, and think about how, as a young man and woman, right, you're going to look back at some of the things you're doing. I didn't have that opportunity to look back, right? But we make decisions, and not all of these decisions are mistakes. Sometimes we just do it because that's what we wanted to do. So, young lady, don't be ashamed of your history. Don't let your history be a mystery. But I encourage you to, if you want to share this with this gentleman, be prepared for what might be said, but also be prepared for the multitude of questions that will come as this relationship progresses, and be ready to either ride it out or walk it off. And I contend walking it off right now might be the best thing you can do in this situation. So again, thank you so much, everybody. Follow us Thursday nights live on YouTube, the Don Miller Show on YouTube. Subscribe and like. We got a live Raw show. Raw. Glenn August going to be joining us soon, as, of course, Lady Drina as well. Thank you so much. God bless you. Bye-bye, everybody.
And everywhere you turn, there's vultures and thieves at your back. The storm keeps on twisting.